Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to be looking at the Hermitcraft world. It just got released for a download, so I download the world and I'm checking out all of the best bases. I'm going to be going through my pick. Mind you, this is my pick, my opinions of the top 10 Hermitcraft bases this season. So let's get right into it. So the first base that I'm actually going to be checking out is actually right where I did the intro. It's over in Botum Village. This is the Botum area. Solid area. However, number 10 is going to be Grian's Alley. So flying on into the alley. I think it's a good base, definitely better than any base I could ever do. However, to me, I don't know, it doesn't seem finished, and I hate to bring it up, but if we just look at the base, the mountain up here, it's great, I love the way everything turned out. However, if we go to the back, you know, if you've ever watched Hermitcraft, you'll know Grian's not a fan of the back, and oh my gosh, if he had finished this back, I probably would have put this higher. I mean, sure, you don't really see it, but I could never live with myself if I knew the back of my base looked like this. Like, it would physically kill me. So, that's probably why it's lower on my list. However, still a very good base, and another reason it's pretty low is compared to the other bases I'm going to be looking at, I think they are better than this one. So, that's why it's number 10. It's a good base, though. I really love the way it turned out. No shame at all putting it in number 10. Again, he did make the top 10, so good base. He's had better, but still a very solid base for number 10. At number 9, we actually have Ijevin Swamp Base, which I think is a bit of an interesting area. It's very different from all the other bases. People kind of focused on building giant mountains or kind of medieval type looks. I feel like that's a lot on this list. However, this one's really out there. It's kind of like a giant pit that I love the glass fog trick that Jevin used here to kind of make the fog look. I gotta say, it looks so cool. So I really love the way this turned out. It's really cool too. It's a simple idea of just building a hole in the ground and then filling it up with a really cool looking structure in the middle here as well, which kind of doubles as a storage system. And it also looks really cool. He also decorated the outside swamp here, kind of making a custom biome, which I really enjoy the idea of doing a custom biome outside of his base. And it looks like he's keeping his diamonds up here. That's interesting. Anyways, with that, we're going to move on to number 8. Very cool number 9, though, with Jevin's base. Alright, so we're back at Botum for number 8, and number 8 is actually Pearlescent Moon's base up here. So the reason I picked this for number 8 is probably because it's probably one of my favorite Botum bases out of all of them. There's actually another one, but we'll get to that later in this list. However, I really like the way that she was able to tie in the mountain theme that they're going for the Botum Giga base, and then placed her castle up at the top. And I also really love this little llama. That's really cool. I love the chains with the nails nailing down everything. I really love the way this turned out. And most of all, with Botum bases, I really like because there's a back to it. God, you gotta finish the bases, dude. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. It's just when bases are messy, when there's chest monsters, or back of the bases are just not finished. I don't know. It shouldn't be that big of an issue, but it always is. So that's my number 8 for me. So let's move on to number 7. So we're actually starting off number 7 right where we left off with number 8. Back at Botum, because number 7 is right over here. It's Mumbo's Mountain. I really like Mumbo's Mountain. It's really cool. I love the different types of houses on the hillside here. I really like the color palette he used with the blue, red. I don't know. It's really good, like, kind of mix of colors, I think. And the lichen really is good as well to kind of make them look more worn. I really like the bridges as well. This little statue on the top, not the biggest of fans with this one. I don't know. It seems a little weird. In my opinion, if I were to have done this base, I would have probably just kept doing like different types of houses, maybe even make a different type of house, like a mansion or something up here, a little bit more refined at the top of the mountain, just to kind of tie it all in. I think it would be cool. Like, that's where the rich, more expensive houses are, at the very top, while all the other houses are on the outsides of the mountain. So, not a huge fan of the statue at the top, but I still think it's really cool. I also like the way you get into this. You have to fly through that, and then it opens up the door to get in as well. And he has got his storage system, which, by the way, I've looked through the storage system. I don't know if there's even either Mumbo's too big brain for me, or these storage systems don't even work. Like, they don't have filters. I don't know what the storage center is, but there literally nothing is being stored in the chest either. So I don't know what that's about. But the inside of the base is also it's kind of basic, but I guess you can't really ask for much for the inside of the base. So that is Mumbo's base here at number 7. We're going to move on to number 6. Number 6 on this list is actually one of my personal favorites. I feel like it could be higher, but due to just the scale and probably the time of the season, it never really got to be kind of evolved. But this is XB's kind of dome area. This is a really solid base. I really love the dome feel. I have a dome base of my own back on the server that I play on, Realm Tale. So if you haven't checked out that series, you probably should. It's a cool series, very similar to Hermitcraft. However, we're just gonna break inside here because I really like the way he was able to do all the domes and build all the farms inside the domes and whatnot. And then he even did it with his main base over here, and all of these like connecting domes as well. I really love the way it looks here. Really cool base. I definitely wish he had more time to maybe make it bigger because I feel like it could have evolved really great as well. So really cool base. I really like the geometric style of it, so that is why it's at number 6. However, purely to scale, it is not higher. If it was a little bit bigger, again, would probably be higher up on my list. But we're going to move back to kind of the main area because XP's base is really far away and get to number 5. And number 5 is probably one of my favorite hermits to watch this season, and that is Exuma's little bit of a village over here. It's a really cool idea for a base. I really like the way it all turned out. Also, these builds are absolutely amazing. I love the use of copper, kind of the absolutely oxidized copper, and then the one stage away from copper mix here is really cool to see. I also really like the use of dripstone for the houses. Really looks really cool when you can tie them all together, and each house has its own purpose. Some are farms, some can contain the villagers. I can't make that fly. Some contain villagers, so if we just break in here, you'll see there's some villagers in this one, but then he can take them out of this base and to the other house over here, and I really like the way that they're all kind of connected in their own way, like that. So this one has all of the villager breeding in here, and then the other bases down here have different types of stuff, and each base has its own purpose, and I really like the way he was able to do that. So that is number 5 on my list. It's Exuma Void's village, and it's also really close to the Evil Empire, which is another one of my favorite areas on the server. Had this been a base, it would probably be on the list because it's really cool. I love the arch buildings as well in this area. However, it's not a base, it's more of a shop, similar to Octagon, which is up on screen right now. A very cool base. However, it's not really a base, it's more of a shop, so it's not really going to be on this list. But with number 5, we're going to move on to number 4. Number 4, in my opinion, is probably one of the biggest bases on the list so far. It is Wells Knight's floating island, and I have to say, looks amazing. I don't know if there was plans to have something up here or not, but it is kind of flat up here. I wish he maybe did a little bit more terraforming. Would definitely have put it higher on this list. However, if you fly on the inside, he's actually got a bit of a store center in here, along with his nether portal and a couple other things in here, along with some ways to get actually out of the center, which I think is really cool, having a centralized storage hub, very similar to what I have. And then the bottom as well looks kind of like the mountain was, and the bottom kind of looks like the island was ripped out of the ground. I wish he put a crater at the bottom as well. Personally, I think this base idea is awesome. It has definitely been done before. However, maybe not in this scale and with the kind of implements of the modern area with these kind of sea lantern beams across. If you added maybe more terraforming on the top and then at the bottom on the ground, like it was actually ripped out of the ground, I think it would definitely elevate the base and make it look a little bit cooler. However, very good option for number 4 in my opinion. Now, before we move into our top 3, let's check out some honorable mentions. For one of our first honorable mentions, we're going to be looking at Gemini Tay's cottage here. It's pretty small, however, I still think it holds its own for a pretty cool base. If it was a little bit bigger, maybe more advanced, it would definitely be on the top 10. So that's why it's an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is Corrales' modern house here. It's really cool, even has a space station up in the sky. However, again, due to its size, it's just not going to be on the top 10. Still a really cool base, though. Another honorable mention, and another one of my favorite hermits to watch this season, is Zedaf's laboratory. I feel like this base focused more on the gadgets on the inside instead of the looks on the outside, so unfortunately it's not a very good base for the looks category. However, still a really cool base due to its gadgets, so that's why it's on the honorable mentions list. And the final honorable mention is Joe and Cleo's cathedral here. I feel like it kind of lacks a bit of detail and a bit of scale. If it was a little bit bigger, more detailed, definitely would have been on the top 10 list. However, definitely deserves an honorable mention. For number 3, we're at the Big Ice Shopping District because at number 3, it's Fifi, the Destroyer. Inside of B-Dub's Mountains, Tango has built Fifi, the Destroyer. Similar to a lot of the bases on this list, it's not finished. There's a lot of work to be done with the ruins around Fifi. However, I really like this giant ugly monster with the one big eye, you know, to signify the Big Eye Shopping District. And I gotta say, the cave is really cool. Again, it doesn't seem like the inside of it is really finished. But if Tango had the time to finish this, man, it would have been a really cool base. However, nonetheless, is why it is not on number 3 on my list. So with that, we're going to move on to number 2. We're back at Bodum for number 2. It's Impulse SV's Factory. This factory is absolutely stunning, I have to say. I love the yellow and black to simulate his colors. However, it still looks like an actual factory. I'm also getting a lot of lag here. Bodum is very laggy. Anyways, look at the absolute scale of this place. If you don't call this mega, I don't know what else is mega. This is definitely a mega base. It's very big, it's very huge, it's insane. However, similar to a lot of the bases, it's not finished. I feel like this back area is very empty. Also, there's 2 mushrooms out here. Anyways, the backside is also not finished. Very similar to a lot of the bases not being finished and Bodum bases not having a backside. So, it's pretty interesting base, though, taken straight out of the Willy Wonka movie. And I gotta say, I love how he followed that theme throughout the entire base. It is absolutely an amazing base just to like look in all at one time. It's a great base. Definitely deserves number 2 on the list. But I've hyped up long enough. We got to get into number 1 best Hermitcraft base, in my opinion, for Hermitcraft Season 8. Let's go right there. Alright, for my number 1 Hermitcraft base, we're actually going to fly by Bodum, right past Pearl's Mountain, and going to fly over to Cubfan's Canyon. Cub's base this season was absolutely amazing. Not only did he make an amazing canyon out of very difficult to farm blocks, the dripstone, pointed dripstone blocks as well, but he made a whole custom biome, and I love the custom biome using amethyst, cactus, sea pickles, dead bushes, lichen. He uses raw copper, raw iron throughout the whole thing. It's just probably was a grind to make this entire area look as good as it did, making all the colors blend. He even got red sand as well. Just a ton of hard to farm blocks. He's got raw iron inside the canyon. It is absolutely amazing base to look in. The whole custom biome, he has different caverns that all kind of lead to things. He's got the giant farm on the outside. I'm trying to find, there we go, there's one down here, a custom little cavern in here. So I think this is his, yep, he's got a super smelter in this cavern. If we follow it down this way, I think there's some more throughout the canyon. Just kind of, oh, I think, nope, that's not one. I'm just blind. Right here, yeah, I think this is his storage system. Yeah, so he's got a storage system over here. A little bit further down the canyon, I think there's a map room somewhere around here. I could be mistaken. Oh, there it is. Here's a map room. So he's got all of the maps in here, which I gotta say looks really cool to see, all of his base. So there it all is in one picture if you want to see it from above. An amazing base. Definitely deserves number 1. He, unlike many of the other hermits, was actually able to finish the base, which is no small undertaking. This base is absolutely huge. It's probably the biggest base on the server in square size, so definitely deserves number 1 for the best Hermitcraft base this season. Once again, guys, this is just my opinion, so let me know if you disagree or agree in the comments. Maybe tell me your top 10 list, but thanks very much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, and if you liked it, make sure to subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more.